Fantastic. I used to live in Lunenburg, Nova Scotia, so I will vouch for how beautiful Nova Scotia is, but I'm here to talk to you about the New York City Digital Service. Next slide, please. For those of you who have never, let's go ahead and jump to the next one. For those of you who have never heard of New York City, if we go to the next slide, let me tell you a little bit about it. So we speak 200 different languages, 40% of our population are immigrants, 1.4 million people, and 1 in 5 children currently live in poverty. 1.5 million people don't have access to broadband or mobile internet at home. And according to Hamilton, the musical, which is the canonical source of all things, we are the greatest city in the world. If you go to the next slide, please. So we are the New York City Digital Service. Next slide. We work to make it easier for all New York City residents to get what they need from city government by collaborating with agencies in research, design, and development. If you want to know what that means in more depth, come to the breakout room and we'd love to talk to you about it. Next slide, please. But more importantly, as a team, we operate with a couple of core values. We put New Yorkers' needs first. Everything we do from the beginning to the end, we do jointly with the people who are actually using the service. I think you've heard that a lot today. We live that every day. We create equitable experiences. Inclusion and accessibility are a consideration and thought from day one. We never think about a product without thinking about how we bring in new voices, new people, and expand the accessibility and inclusion of our products. We show impact through evidence. Ribbon cuttings are great, optics are very valuable, but we measure our success through actual improvement to actual people's lives. We try to uplift our partners in everything we do. So every conversation we have with any partner, whether that's inside or outside the city, starts with, how do we make you look good? Because we succeed when our partners succeed. And importantly, inside the team, we listen to each other. We try very, very hard to create a space of psychological safety for everyone in the team to be a full participant, really help drive and lead the team and take us to new and wonderful places. Next slide, please. So what does that actually mean when we look at our work? We work generally across design, product, and occasional special projects. If you go to the next slide. Sometimes we just do visual uplifts. So we take things that are long lists of text and we add we put the 6 most important things at the top of the most trafficked website in New York City. Actual tangible improvement on people's lives, very easy lift. Next slide. Sometimes we take on slightly larger problems. So we took 100 different service providers who provide events and services to older adults in New York City. We created a proof of concept and an alpha test of a service finder for older adults in New York City. That we then took out and we tested with actual human beings to solve actual problems. It's now with a vendor to build the beta and then take it into production. Next slide, please. Sometimes we do special projects. So during COVID, a lot of senior citizens living in our public housing were disconnected from the internet. So we sent 10,000 internet connected tablets to senior citizens in New York City. We created a full experience from the unboxing, like actual what paper goes in the box when you open it up. What do they see on the home screen of the tablet? Custom home screen, 2 home screens for the browser, so that when you open it up, there are services clearly geared towards older adults, education, access, food, healthcare, very clearly in front and center. Not just technology, service design, UX, UI, research, the whole stack of the problem. Next slide, please. So why New York City? Next slide. We are 8.8 million residents, 200,000 businesses, 64 million visitors, $100 billion a year budget, $1 trillion GDP, and 325,000 city government employees. There is no better place to have impact than the largest municipal government in North America. We see the entire benefit stack. We deal with local benefits, state benefits, federal benefits. We are the front line for people, and we are the largest municipal government in America. We are larger than 37 states by population. If you want to have a meaningful impact on real people's lives every day at scale, there's no better place to be than New York City in the digital service team. Next slide. So what do we have open? Next slide, please. The big one that we want to talk to you about is the head of the New York City Digital Service. We have some very big shoes to fill. The last person who was our fearless leader became Chief Digital Officer in Canada. So, you know, a very big role for a leader who has a great vision for what a digital service can be. You're going to come in and you're going to run and expand the New York City Digital Service. You're going to oversee the chief design officer in the new design practice, and you're going to drive thought leadership. Next slide, and this is the last one because I know I'm out of time. We also have lots of upcoming roles across the stack. So if you have interest in joining us, drop your resume in and we will reach out to you as soon as those roles are open, and I will stop talking right there.